completely honest, I spent my entire 20s just trying to survive. So now that I'm in my 30s, I finally had the opportunity to develop daily habits to improve my lifestyle and well-being. And today I'm going to be sharing them with you. Let's go. Girlfriends, hey loved ones, welcome back to Fully Loving Yourself. My name is Science Star J. If you are new here, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button before you head out, okay? So today we are going to be getting into 11 daily habits that I've been using in my 30s to improve my life drastically, all right? So I feel like I've always been like a health and wellness girly. I started Fully Loving Yourself when I was 26 years old, before I moved out of Pittsburgh, PA, and my focus was on physical and mental health. Over time, it has developed into something way bigger. If you watched my video on the 9 pillars of self-care, you'll see what I'm talking about. And since then, I've experienced so much in my life that has caused me to reorganize and restructure my entire life as it regards to my health and wellness. So the first thing that I want to get into, the first habit that changed my life completely, is starting my day with prayer and gratitude. I grew up in foster care. Now, my foster care experience wasn't the worst. However, that does kind of alter your state of mind when you look at, how you expect life to be, what you want life to look like. And so it caused me to be very negative. And so when I started looking at life from a different perspective, looking at things and how I can be more grateful on my day-to-day as opposed to leading my day with the negative things, thinking about all the things that went wrong in my past, all the things that went wrong in my day. When you are a highly anxious person too, you can tend to draw from your negative experiences before you draw from the positive ones. And so having a journal at my bedside and just also having like different apps and affirmations that I use to bring me back to the positive, and praying for the ability and the discipline to stay positive. It's not something that I'm perfect at by any means, but it's something that I try to do on a daily to make sure that I start my day on a better note. I believe that through having a prayer and gratitude practice, you can literally rewire your brain and change the trajectory of your life. When you start off with being more positive, that changes your entire chemistry and energy, and you start attracting more positivity into your life. You start attracting more positive people. You start attracting more opportunities and experiences. And so when we look at things from a positive standpoint and just be grateful for even the smallest things, like when I had a smaller apartment and I didn't have much, when I was homeless, I was still grateful for the things that I did have. I was grateful that I had a car. I had to sleep in that car, but I was grateful that I had it. And I was grateful for the part-time job that I had so that I could get to the full-time job. So when you look at things from that perspective and you look at things from that lens, it helps you to shape shift your mind and change your life entirely. Many of the habits that I'm going to be sharing with you all are health and wellness based. And so the second tip that I'm going to be sharing with you all that changed my life completely was developing a morning routine that starts with my iron and supplements. I was diagnosed with fibroids. If you're not new to my channel, you know, but if you're new, then you might not know. I was diagnosed with fibroids and iron deficiency anemia. And so creating that morning routine and developing that habit where I know like every morning I'm going to take my vitamins, every morning I'm going to take my iron, that is such a big part of our energy and our day and our lives. Like, we have to make sure that our bodies are getting the nutrients that it needs in order to sustain us, in order to keep on living. And in my 20s, I don't think that I was taking that as serious as I should have. And now that I'm in my 30s, I'm kind of paying for it a little bit, but making sure that I'm taking my iron and my supplements and just staying on top of getting those in daily has definitely changed my life. I have so much more energy, so much more motivation to get things done every single day since I started implementing that into my routine on a daily. And another piece of my morning routine that has been very important that I shifted, that has entirely changed my life, is starting my day with fruit and water as opposed to starting it with heavy carbs and other things like those chicken biscuits. I used to love me a chicken biscuit. However, I noticed that starting my day with those things kind of made me tired throughout the day. So now I'm starting my day with fruit, tea, and water, things that are going to help my body to heal. Dandelion tea, raspberry leaf tea, ginger and turmeric tea. Shifting to making those small changes has completely helped me in so many ways. You can still eat your chicken biscuit, but make sure that you're starting your day with something that is going to help rejuvenate your body. Like, a lot of people drink coffee, but there are other alternatives that you can drink that will help you in a different way than coffee will. Like, you can do cayenne pepper water, you can do mushroom coffee. There are other things that you can do to get yourself going, making sure that you're taking your vitamins, vitamin D, vitamin B, to stimulate your mood on a regular and daily basis. Has completely helped me so much. And I know I've kept saying that, and I'm going to keep saying it, because these habits have helped me in so many ways. I remember just being depressed and down on my ass and just feeling like life is over for me, and thinking that I wasn't going to live past a certain age or day because I felt so bad. And once I implemented all of these habits and tips and strategies, I'm telling y'all, I am just overwhelmed with gratitude and happiness. All right, I haven't let y'all know, but I am currently at the lowest weight that I've been since 2013. I have not been this small since 2013, and it has been because I started my day fasting and then drinking tea and drinking water and then fruit. And I do 1 meal a day right now, so that has helped me tremendously. So if you're trying to, restart your body, get your life back together, that is one way to do it. And so the next tip is the hardest thing for me to do. It has been such a struggle for me to do this, and that is getting up early enough to get myself together. Y'all, when I tell you I'm not a morning person, I don't like getting up early to do squat, to do anything, but giving myself a little bit more time in the morning to get dressed, to pour into myself, to journal, to stretch, to do my makeup, and just get myself and my mind ready for the day, as opposed to just jumping out the bed, throwing on some clothes, grabbing what I need for the day, and just heading out the door. It has helped me so much in just how my day flows. I just feel so much better at the end of the day. And before, like, preparing for my wedding was a very stressful time. So now that I'm back in a groove of getting my day started and getting me right first and foremost before I get my day started, has been such a game changer for me. And just starting with like just an hour, getting up an hour before I have to get ready and get out the door has been so helpful. And now my body is used to it, and it's like, all right, girl, we getting up. Even if I don't want to, it's like, all right, girl, come on, it's time to get up and get yourself together. But it just makes you feel so much better when you have the opportunity to pour into your self-care. And so I have been loving it so far. So if you are not a morning person like me, that's all right. Try just getting up 30 minutes earlier, and then try for an hour earlier, and just see how it helps. I've been loving it, y'all. And then the fifth habit that I believe has changed my life has been finding time to pour into myself as something that brings me joy. It's something that I really struggle with because I was just so overly obsessed with money and making sure that I had enough and trying to survive. And I realized that came from a mindset that I no longer needed to have. And so when I allowed myself to stop stressing over things that no longer served me and poured all that energy into something that I love to do, which is YouTube and doing art and creating art and drawing and painting and all of those things, I believe that it has just changed me in so many ways. When you release stress, it allows you to sleep better. It allows your days to go better. It allows you to lose more weight. I have just been flourishing in that way when I stopped stressing so much. Stress has caused me so many issues, from these fibroids to stomach ulcers. And so alleviating stress by doing something that you love to do, something that brings you joy and something that makes you happy and puts a smile on your face, is one of the greatest ways to alleviate stress. So if you don't have a hobby, you need to go and get you a hobby. All right, go to Hobby Lobby. My best friend took me to Hobby Lobby and I completely lost my mind. I was like, what is this place? Hobby Lobby is one of the best inventions. I can't wait to go Christmas shopping. I'm just so overwhelmed. Hobby Lobby is a great place. But if you don't have a hobby and you don't have any interest, find something. Play around with different things. My best friend does these little Dippin' Dots, art in dots, paint by diamonds. Paint by diamonds. She does paint by diamonds. And I'm like, what in the world? I couldn't do it. But it might be something that you can get into. Find something that you love to do that takes your mind off of the stress in the world and in your life. Okay? And then habit number 6 is around food. Okay, I love to eat. And when you are a busybody, you don't tend to think about how food really impacts you, right? And so I mentioned that I've been doing this 1 meal a day. And so tip number 6 is not eating too late. So I've been doing intermittent fasting and eating between 12 and 8. Trying to eat between 12 and 8 because I do get a little bit busy, but not eating past 10 o'clock because your body needs time to do its thing while you're sleeping. And I think that has played a really big part in me being able to lose weight, is not snacking and eating at 11, 12 o'clock at night, and actually allowing my body to digest the foods that I'm eating and making sure that I'm putting really good foods in it to digest as well. So don't eat late. Don't eat in your bed. Make sure that you have enough time when you get home from work, either meal prep or pick something up, but make sure that you're not eating past 9, 10 o'clock if you can. I don't know if I'm late to the party, but I started listening to podcasts. Tip number 7 is podcasts, personal development and self-development podcasts. I love listening to podcasts, even funny podcasts. Funny Marco, oh my goodness, that podcast, love that one. I also love listening to Social Proof. I love the Think Media podcast, all things that are related to things that I love and things that are going to help me grow as a woman, as a person, and as a creator. I love listening to money management podcasts. Like, as time has gone on, I'm a writer and I was an avid reader, but now it's just like my attention span is not that great. So podcasts are perfect. Audiobooks and podcasts have absolutely changed the game for me. I'm actually thinking about starting my own podcast. I don't know. I've been toying around with the idea of starting my own podcast just because I love talking. I love pouring into people, but we'll see how it goes. But for right now, I love listening to podcasts. Let me know, what are some of y'all's favorite podcasts in the comments? I know people have told me like Earn Your Leisure, and there's another one, but I will let y'all know all of my favorite podcasts. I will link them in the description box because I listen to them every single day and they have really helped shape my mind as a woman and as a person and as a up-and-coming creative and entrepreneur. One thing that I've always done in my 20s and my teens that has helped me to keep my life on track, I always tell y'all this, is using a planner. So that is a daily habit that has completely changed my life. Not something that I started doing in my 30s, but has completely kept me on track, because if I don't have a to-do list, if I don't have a list of things that I know that I need to get done during the week, during the month, during the day, I will completely just lose track of everything. And I know that I want to keep things in order, and that is the best way to do it for me. And I love checking things off of my list. It just makes me feel so accomplished at the end of the day, at the end of the month, when I feel like, dang, I didn't accomplish all of my goals for the month. I didn't accomplish all of my goals for the week. I can look back at it and be like, well, you did do this. You know, changing that mindset and allowing myself to look at things from a positive light. Like, I did accomplish some things, and that's okay that my complete to-do list didn't get checked off and done. So keeping a planner has been a great thing for me to do. And if you don't keep a planner, please let me know how you keeping your life on track, because I don't know how I would do it just flying by the tail of my seat. Like, I don't know how people do it like that. So number 9 would be doing womb massage and being aware of my reproductive self-care. So making sure that I'm eating things that are good for my womb, making sure that I'm doing things that are good for my womb. My diet is especially doing womb massages with castor oil, just getting womb massages when I go and get massages. That has been a big part in my healing process, and I haven't been back to the doctor yet, but I am going to let y'all know when I do that. For the ladies who have been following my fibroid healing journey, doing hormone massages has been an integral part of helping me out in that way, helping my periods when I'm experiencing PMS symptoms. That has been such a game changer for me. And then tip number 10 is directly related to that as well. And that goes back to the nutrition, intuitive eating, and cycle syncing. Y'all, I cannot believe that I did not learn about cycle syncing until I was in my 30s. We need to be talking about this to our teenagers, because living your life according to your cycles, like rhythm, we don't have the same cycle as men do. The 24-hour, whatever it is, cycle that a man has, we have 4 different phases of our cycle that we need to be living by. And when I started stepping into that and really using my cycle to my advantage, oh my goodness. Like, now I know what to eat during each phase of my cycle. There is the follicular phase, the ovulatory phase, the luteal phase, and the menstrual phase. And you literally are supposed to live according to each phase. You have more energy during certain phases. There are periods of time where you're supposed to rest more and not work out as much. Like, there's so much to being a woman. I'm just a girl. There's so much to being a woman that I don't think that we were adequately prepared for in our teens and 20s. And so I'm glad that I had the opportunity, that I'm having the opportunity to learn these things in my 30s. Let me know if y'all want to get more into the cycle syncing and like the foods for each phase of your cycle, because when I tell y'all, like, our bodies tell us what it needs, and we have to, you know, go along with that, and we should go along with that. Our bodies be telling us what it needs, okay? And when we give our bodies the things that it needs to support it at the stage that it's in, it just makes life so much better. And that has been an ultimate game changer for me, and a daily habit that I've been using to change my life now that I'm in my 30s. Honey, I wish I would have knew. And then tip number 11 is just for my anxious girlies, my girlies who be in a rush to be everywhere all the time. Tip number 11 is for you. And tip number 11 is putting things back where they go when you're done using them. Okay, this is something that I've recently started getting better at, because I'll use something and I'll just leave it there and I'll be like, oh, I'll come back to it. Procrastination is not our friend, ladies. Let's not come back to it. Let's just do it right then and there when we realize that it needs done. I know me personally, I will leave my makeup brushes everywhere, my makeup everywhere. Like, things will just live in a place that it does not belong, because I'm like, oh, I'll come back to it, or I just don't think about it. So when you put something down, picking it back up and putting it where it needs to go, that will help you so much with your mental health, because it will lessen the clutter and it will just help your space to look and feel better. And you won't have as much to do at the end of the week when it's time to clean, because you put your stuff back when you were done using it. So that is a tip for my anxious girlies. I get overwhelmed when there's a whole lot of stuff to do. So yeah, that is a daily habit that I've been using. Shout out to my husband for that one, because he actually has been helping me with that. He'd be like, hey, you left this over there. And I'll be like, oh yeah, you're right. And so creating that habit in my mind, now I'm like, okay, let's do this. Whew. Okay, ladies, so those were the 11 daily habits that I've been using to completely change my life. I'm praying that somebody got some value from this. You should have, because these things have helped me to grow as a woman, as a person. And if you got some value from this, please let me know down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and check out this next one. I love you guys so much. See you later.